I met her on a cold, rainy evening in the heart of the city. The air was thick with the scent of damp asphalt, and the neon lights reflected in puddles as if the city itself was crying. Her name was Isabella, but she insisted on being called Isa. Little did I know that this chance encounter would unravel a tale of love, tragedy, and the haunting beauty of shared sorrow. We both sought refuge in a quaint coffee shop, our solitary souls seeking solace in the warm embrace of caffeine. Isa's eyes, the color of stormy seas, held a depth that hinted at a world of hidden pain. As we exchanged hesitant smiles and pleasantries, I sensed a connection that transcended the ordinary. Isa spoke of her past in fragments, a mosaic of broken dreams and shattered memories. I could feel the weight of her unspoken sorrows pressing against my chest, and in return, I revealed fragments of my own fractured existence. Our hearts beat in sync, two lonely symphonies finding harmony in the shared cadence of grief. In the midst of our sorrow-soaked conversation, a strange sensation enveloped us. A shimmering glow, subtle but undeniable, surrounded Isa and me. The atmosphere crackled with an otherworldly energy, and I felt an inexplicable pull towards her. Unbeknownst to us, our destinies had intertwined in a dance of tragedy and magic. As the days passed, our connection deepened, transcending the boundaries of mere friendship. Isa and I became entangled in a love story that unfolded like pages from a mystical book. Our love was a sanctuary, a refuge from the storms that raged. Yet, little did I realize that behind the ethereal facade of our love story lurked shadows of twisted secrets and taboo desires. One fateful night, as the moon cast its silvery glow upon the city, Isa beckoned me to a secluded spot. The air crackled with tension as she unveiled a part of herself she had kept hidden, a revelation that blurred the lines between love and the forbidden. Isa confessed to me that her heart carried a heavy burden, a secret that cast a long, dark shadow over our seemingly idyllic romance. She spoke of a connection beyond the ordinary, a bond forged not in the realm of the living, but in the ethereal spaces where the living and the departed intersect. I listened in disbelief as she unfolded the tale of her late husband, a man whose presence lingered in the shadows, a specter that walked beside her in the lonely corridors of her existence. Isa's love for him transcended death, and she bore the weight of a forbidden affair with a ghostly lover. The revelation sent shivers down my spine, and yet a strange understanding blossomed between us. Isa's haunted love story became the backdrop for our own, and I found myself entangled in a web of emotions that defied the boundaries of mortality. As our relationship unfolded, Isa's spectral lover manifested in subtle ways, a whisper of wind, a fleeting touch in the darkness. I, too, began to sense his presence, a silent observer to our intimate moments. The line between the living and the dead blurred, and our love story became a haunting symphony of passion and the supernatural. Yet, with each passing day, the weight of our secrets grew heavier. Isa's confession opened a Pandora's box of emotions, and the once magical love story took on a twisted hue. The ghostly presence that had initially felt like an ethereal companion became a silent witness to our struggles and desires. As the days turned into nights, the love triangle between Isa, the ghostly lover, and me became a complex dance of longing and despair. Isa grappled with the guilt of her unconventional affections, torn between the living and the dead. I, too, faced the unsettling truth that our love was intertwined with a presence that existed beyond the boundaries of the tangible. The city that had once been the backdrop of our burgeoning romance now felt suffocating, its crowded streets echoing with the whispers of our shared secrets. Isa and I became prisoners of our own emotions, haunted by a love that defied societal norms and the laws of the living. In the midst of this emotional tempest, Isa's health began to falter. The strain of living between two worlds took a toll on her fragile existence, and the ghostly lover's ethereal embrace offered no solace. Our once magical love story descended into a tragic narrative, marked by the inevitability of loss and the consequences of forbidden desires. As Isa's strength waned, she confessed her deepest fear, that she would be forever torn between the realms of the living and the dead, a spectral wanderer condemned to an eternity of solitude. The weight of her impending departure hung in the air, and I found myself grappling with the realization that our love story was destined for a heart-wrenching conclusion. In the final moments of Isa's earthly existence, the veil between the living and the dead seemed to thin. the ghostly lover, once a silent observer, materialized in a final bittersweet farewell. As Isa's eyes met mine, a tearful smile played on her lips, and she whispered words that echoed in the caverns of my soul. Our love, marked by tragedy, magic, and twisted secrets, had become an indelible chapter in the tapestry of our lives. As Isa transcended the boundaries of mortality, her spectral lover embraced her, and together they vanished into the unknown. Our love, though tinged with sorrow and taboo, had left an indelible mark on my heart. As I wandered through the city's streets, I couldn't shake the feeling that the magic and tragedy of our connection lingered in the very air I breathed. And so the tale of Isa and me became a whispered legend, a story of love that transcended the boundaries of the living and the dead. In the quiet moments between heartbeats, I could almost feel her presence, a phantom touch that defied the constraints of time and mortality, as I gazed into the rain-soaked cityscape. The memories of our love story played like a haunting melody in the recesses of my mind. The rain continued to fall, washing away the traces of our ephemeral existence, leaving only the echoes of a love that had defied the ordinary and embraced the extraordinary.